Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for being with us. Just another jam-packed day full of stuff to get to today. Sadly, we've got to start with yet another mass shooting. This time in Louisville, Kentucky, at a bank, a gunman opened fire, killing at least 5 people and injuring another 9. The gunman was identified as a 25-year-old. We try never to say their names because a lot of these people just do it for notoriety, to be famous. It's just, it's insane. Just like the planned terrorist attacker, the trans person who was caught before they carried out their plan. And let's see, where was that?
Colorado.
Yeah, it was in Colorado, as so many of these are. But in Colorado Springs, they caught this person. They asked, why were you planning to kill all these people? And the answer the trans person gave was, why does anybody do it? Yeah, that sounds like a notoriety thing. Sounds like a publicity thing. You want to be famous.
Yeah, and the fact that this individual live streamed this horror says a lot right there as well. 25
years old, apparently was just fired, and maybe that's what set him off. Obviously, he's got some mental issues to begin with. Yeah, and parts of the attack were, in fact, live streamed. They're trying to locate those and take them off the internet. And maybe they already have.
Yeah, I believe they have.
A couple of police were injured as well.
Yeah, one officer who had just graduated from the police academy less than 2 weeks ago, March 31st.
Shot in the head.
Diving for the shooter. The shooter, by the way, and you're probably not going to hear a lot about the Louisville shooting. He had his pronouns on his LinkedIn page, for what that's worth. Mm-hmm. And there was some talk that there was this anti-Trump cartoon posted on one of the social media pages. I haven't independently confirmed that. But
so at least there's a good chance. And I hate to go down that road, especially when it just happened. Mm-hmm. But they're always so willing to jump on that and beat the rest of us with see, these right-wing kooks are just out there killing people. This is the biggest terrorist problem we have in this country. White male supremacists. So hopefully that won't be the case here. They will, of course, go after guns. Guns are the thing. And Republicans aren't playing along with ending the Second Amendment, and so they're the cause.
Yeah, I did see a meme that I thought was excellent. It says, we have a mental health crisis in the USA, not a gun problem. Mm-hmm. And then it just said, with guns in the hands of citizens, we risk tragedies. But without them, we risk genocide. And I think that says it.
Really true.
Perfectly.
It's a nice way to put it. It's brilliant. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Democrats jumping all over this already and began the latest push to go after guns. Here's White House spokesperson KJP.
This time in Louisville, Kentucky. The President and the First Lady are praying for those killed and injured in the tragic shooting in Louisville and for the survivors who will carry the trauma for the rest of their lives. They are grateful for the LMPD officers who quickly and courageously stepped into the line of fire to save others. Once again, today, the President has called on Republicans in Congress to work together with Democrats to take action, to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, to require safe storage of firearms, to require background checks for all gun sales, to eliminate gun manufacturers' immunity from liability. These are common sense actions we can ask for and should be getting right now. And it's what Americans want. We know that majority of the American people support this.
If you're honest with them, they don't.
Instead, we've watched Republican official after Republican official after Republican official double down on dangerous bills that make our schools, that makes our places of worship, that makes our communities less safe, while too many Americans are paying with their lives. So again, we need to act, and we need Republicans to show some courage.
They
Republicans in
politicize
Congress.
it every single time. Every single time.
Absolutely, they do. But normally, See, it used to be they would wait at least till the next day before they started doing that.
Yeah, day of.
This is 2 hours after the shooting. I mean, they can't help themselves. They make sure they politicize it right out of the gate.
Despicable. Absolutely despicable. And I don't know that anybody knows the definitive answer for how you stop this, but a really good place to start would be at mental health. We got to do something about crazy people walking the streets with guns. I mean, I don't know what, but something should be done there. But they're never going to admit that. It's always the gun itself. We have more guns now than we've ever had in the history of this planet. But when you look at the percentages, we're nowhere near what happened with mass shootings. I think it was in the 20s. I think the 20s were the biggest mass shooting decade in this country.
You had an angry populace that couldn't get access to their alcohol.
That was probably part of it. Yeah. And she continued, of course, lying about the assault weapons ban from years ago, as they continually do. More from KJP.
We need Congress to act. And if you think about assault weapons ban, we know
if you think about
when we saw when the president was involved in 1994 to get that done, we saw gun violence go down. And when it sunset 10 years later, it went back up. So we know what could work.
It's just
and that's
a lie.
why you continue to hear
Flat
the
out
president
lie.
calling on Congress to take action.
It's just a complete, unadulterated lie.
They don't care.
They really don't.
They don't care. They will just repeat it until the masses
provable
believe
lies.
It. Yeah.
Provable.
In fact, to that point, Dana Lash last night on Twitter linked to all sorts of studies and articles. You had, she posted a link to the Department of Justice, a link to the New York Times, a link to all of
New
these.
York Times.
Yeah, a link to
that
all
right-wing publication.
Crazy right-wingers, right? All of these studies that showed that the impact was negligible at best,
right,
from the assault weapons ban. So that's, but people are going to see that, and they're not going to fact check this.
My recollection on the stats, because I've looked it up many times over the years. It's been a little while since I did, but gun violence actually went up initially after the gun ban, after the assault weapons ban. And then it went down to about what it was before. So it didn't help at all. If anything, immediately it hurt. Journalists are just tired of how the White House treats them, though, in general.
I know. This is fun. In fact,
and they let her know about it.
Right, where we picked this clip up, this has already been going on for several minutes. The press was not happy. And
with Karine Jean-Pierre?
When they don't get access to the President of the United States. Yeah. See, that's just it. We've talked about this. They will provide cover for the left every time. But if you don't let them do their job, or at least, make it look like they're doing their jobs.
When it's about them, then they get pissed.
That's right.
Here's what happened.
He wanted to see what the questions you all were going to ask him, and he wanted to answer them directly. That has happened multiple times, many times, during this administration, and that will certainly continue.
They want a press
to
conference.
be. When it comes to a formal press conference, I don't have anything to share with you at this time.
Just one last thing.
Yeah, sure.
Just to button it up. You recognize that as it relates to prior administrations, the president's predecessor, President Obama, President George W. Bush, I've been here long enough to have covered President Bill Clinton. This is not the norm. The norm is we do get an opportunity to ask the questions to the president about domestic and foreign policy issues in a formal setting at some point. And you choose that point, but we haven't had that opportunity in quite some time.
So I'll say this. It is also unprecedented that a president takes as many shouted questions as this president has.
Shouted.
Listen to this. Okay.
No. They know that's not true.
We'll certainly get the data and share that with all of you.
Yeah, please do.
John,
please
I
do.
hear your question.
Circle back on that.
I hear you. I hear you on the press conference, on a formal press conference. We get this probably every couple of months when you guys ask us about a formal press conference.
Yeah, because you haven't done one.
I don't have anything to share with all of you at this time.
Oh man.
And I'll just leave it there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just leave it there, where I always leave it.
So did you catch that though? It was. I'm going to get the data for you to show you that you're wrong. He's totally answering your questions. I'm going to come out here with the data. They don't want the data. They want the president of the United States to come out there and answer questions.
Mm-hmm.
They're
but
losing,
go get the data. Let's see.
They're losing the White House press corps.
I mean, show us the numbers on this because we've expressed them many times. We've had the numbers for you. It was hundreds and hundreds of interviews and press conferences with Obama. It was close to that with Trump, and it's nothing like that now. He's doing like 1/10 of what presidents usually do. So they know that for a fact. But, she's just a bald-faced liar, and she lies to her face every single day.
Perfect for this administration.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because it's an administration full of liars. Over the weekend, the big Easter egg hunt, or did they do it yesterday?
They did it yesterday.
They finally, they seemed to do it the day after Easter for some reason. And I guess this started back in 1878.
Isn't that
with
fun?
Rutherford B. Hayes.
Rutherford B. Hayes.
I didn't realize.
Yeah. Now, this footage is from, I don't know,
1878.
20s. I don't think.
No.
Now, if that were 1878,
yeah,
you might see young Jeffy.
All right.
With a basket.
Not so young, but you would have seen Jeffy.
You would have seen Joe Biden running around there.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know where exactly, what date that's from, but that's some cool footage there.
I think we also have footage from yesterday.
Yesterday, oh gosh, dude, there was a little girl there, of course.
Oh, boy.
That means that Joe Biden was there.
Oh, man.
What's this? Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Oh, gee.
Sniff, sniff, sniff. He just cannot.
He can't help himself.
What?
I want my damn Trump back.
Show that again, because I don't.
That's his greeting.
I don't get what your deal is.
He's like a dog going.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Ugh.
That is just so creepy.
Yeah, if I'm that dad, I am turning that kid away from him.
I'm pushing his face away.
Yeah.
Get off me. And get off my daughter here.
Oh,
so
just a freak.
Bizarre.
My tongue.
Oh, no. Didn't take long for that one to make an appearance.
My tongue.
Okay. All right.
That's an instant classic, though.
That is.
Has he been kicked out?
Dalai Lama.
Can you kick the Dalai Lama out of the Dalai Lama?
Not sure how that works.
Hierarchy there?
But my guess is no.
How's that work?
But man, he's 87 years old. And how often have we seen footage of the Dalai Lama? Pretty rare. And so the footage we do see, just freaky like that, and you can't help but wonder, what is the deal with this guy?
Somebody on Twitter commented under one of those videos of him yesterday. Now we see why those in Hollywood love the Dalai Lama so much. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And by the way, the video cut off before after he said, suck my tongue, it cuts off before you see what does happen. Sure enough.
Oh, no, really?
I found a longer version.
Oh, no.
The kid does lean forward. They blur out his face because I guess, they don't want, it's just too disturbing. It's too disturbing to actually see. But he did. So,
oh, God.
I mean.
It's just vomit fest.
Yeah, it's just bizarre. Also, is this from yesterday as well?
So at the egg roll, Mr. Al Roker, another favorite of ours in the old South.
You pooped in your pants.
I pooped my pants.
That guy.
Mr. Pooped his pants.
Yeah.
Asked him about his plans for 2024.
We got two guys that poop their pants on a regular basis talking to each other yesterday. Yeah. So is he going to run in 2024? Oh, we got to find out. Here we go.
Are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushing them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me.
I plan on running Al, but we're not prepared to announce it yet.
All right.
President Biden's approval rating ranks right up there with jock itch.
Look at you guys. You got him in quick rotation. Thank you.
And by the way, you just did make the announcement. What do you mean?
Yeah, he did. He
just said you're planning to run.
We just
I just don't want to make the announcement yet. But what is it he says at the beginning?
Well, he's talking about he's trying to do a funny with the Easter egg roll reference. It's incoherent as
Play it
usual.
one more time.
Though. Yes.
Are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushing them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me.
I plan on running Al, but we're not prepared to announce it yet.
All right.
I plan on running Al, but I'm not going to announce it. Except for I just did.
Yeah. What day's Christmas, Pat?
December 25th.
Is it 25th of
Yes.
December?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because that's when he was making his decision, was over Christmas break there.
Okay.
So that feels like it was 3.5 months ago that he was supposed to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it sounds like the decision's been made. What's he waiting for? Why don't you just come out?
He hasn't gotten permission. He hasn't gotten permission from his handlers.
Perhaps that is possible.
This is. You think he's running for sure?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Last week, gold broke $2,000, $2,000 an ounce, and it's gone up nearly 20% just in the last 6 months. You might want to consider gold as part of your portfolio. Birch Gold Group wants you to remember that inflation has consequences, and the Fed keeps raising interest rates to supposedly combat out-of-control government spending. It doesn't control it. It's not working. And so diversification has never been more important than it is right now. The surge in the gold prices right now is directly tied to the extreme market volatility everybody's experiencing. And that's why gold has historically been a really great hedge against, the stock market collapse and inflation. So now is a great time to get into gold with Birch Gold Group. They make it really easy to convert an IRA or a 401k into an IRA in precious metals. Just text PAT to 989-898. Get your free info kit on gold. They'll help you convert your existing IRA or 401k that's tied to the volatile market into an IRA in physical precious metals, gold and silver. Text PAT to 989898. Get your free info kit on gold. Read through it, see if it's right for you, and then act. It's got an A+ rating from the BBB, thousands of happy customers, and countless 5-star reviews. Birch Gold. Those are the people you can trust to protect your future. Text PAT to 989898.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
I wouldn't be surprised if very shortly we're saying to ourselves, do you remember when gold was just $2,000 an ounce? Wow, those were good times. Good times. Yep. As we look ahead to 2024 and all the candidates, we're looking at all the available people, the people who are planning to run. We've already heard from some of them who are definitely planning, quite a few in the Republican Party already. And then we have, who was it that just declared in the Democrat Party?
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Oh, right. Okay. Robert Kennedy. Plus, wasn't there a governor who threw his hat into the ring? Or maybe we're just waiting for somebody to throw their hat into the ring.
Well, on the right, we had the firebrand Asa Hutchinson, right?
That's right.
And then we lost the Maryland governor.
Oh, no, already.
He was in and out of the race so fast that we forgot his name.
Wow.
What is his name? Well, now it's Wes Moore. But anyway, so was it Larry Hogan? Remember, he signed up and he got out of the parking lot after dropping his paperwork off.
It's like, nah, never
He went
mind.
back in and he was like, let me
just kidding.
Psych.
Pathead King trickery. King, you wrote this, Keith. I can't.
Oh, you can't read my handwriting? What are you saying?
Is it King Tricky?
I think so.
Okay. He says, Keith, you were asking about Vivek and his possible connection with the WEF.
Right.
And I was watching his stuff and came across what sounds like his explanation on video. Oh, okay. So then he tells you where to find it. So here's Vivek Ramaswamy,
right?
Because we talked about there's maybe some concerns because he's linked to the WEF.
Yeah, what is that all about?
He's addressed that.
Okay.
And here he is.
Okay. So my experience with Klaus Schwab, never met him. but my only experience with the World Economic Forum was being contacted by them to either attend the conference in Davos, which I have never done and no interest in doing, and then being extended the offer to become one of their young global leaders. I turned it down. I said, no, I don't think it's a good fit. They said, you may be a good opportunity to promote your upcoming book. I was like, my upcoming book is called Woking, and it takes direct aim at this agenda, so I don't think that's a good fit. No, thank you. Months later, I get the announcement. Oh, I don't get the announcement. I get a bunch of text messages congratulating me from like random people I haven't like seen in like years. I saw you made the Young Global Leaders list. I'm just like, are you kidding me? That's really funny.
There you are on the website, right?
And there I am on the website.
Mid-level violence.
And turns out Elon Musk had the same experience. Glenn Beck has had the same experience. So it's sort of this. And the funny thing is, so I then declare for President of the United States, and then a bunch of people from really our movement, or at least people who are, I'm grateful, interested in the ideas that you and I have been trying to educate the public on for the last 5 years, are saying, what? How could that be? You're a young global fellow. You're actually a plant. You're actually some sort of Trojan horse. In a certain way, this is how Klaus Schwab and the likes of them play the game. Is they're going to exercise dominion one way or another.
They grab the middle of the balloon.
Exactly, they grab the middle of the balloon, and then we fall for it.
Yeah,
and then we fall for it. Our people fall for it. We all fall for it.
So I'm glad the people in the movement are attentive to that and care about that now.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand,
they're being exploited one step ahead.
Yeah,
exactly right. So now we get somebody who, I don't want to say that I'm not boasting about myself. It's just I've made it the objective of my career to take this on. And what do? They make sure they kneecap the person who's best positioned to do that because they're always one step ahead.
That's right.
It's like the same move from calling ESG, call it sustainable.
Mm-hmm. So we have to be really careful about the rumors that float around about these candidates, and just do a little research, do some investigating, and find out the truth directly from the source. So that's pretty great explanation there, and puts that fear to rest. Okay, he's not associated with the WEF. He's not a minion of Klaus Schwab. So we don't have to worry about that.
And we will get messages and like DMs and posts that tag us after this that will provide more evidence, probably, that we'll have to look into as well.
Yeah,
and we will.
I'm sure there'll be more allegations.
Yeah,
there certainly are about Ron DeSantis now, because anybody who's serious and anybody who looks really good at the beginning, others are going to attack him. And so,
well, and that's one thing that Ramaswamy is doing, is going after DeSantis. And at this point, it's the same thing when Trump does it.
Yeah,
and it's if DeSantis were doing
really
it,
unattractive right now.
Yeah, if DeSantis were doing it, it wouldn't be a good look from that camp either.
Right. Go after the Democrats.
Right.
Present your own ideas. Why don't we do that? Show us that you are, the person with the best agenda. You're the person with the best plan for America. And remind people what a terrible job this particular president is and has been doing.
Yeah, and I don't have the date yet, but everything I see just says Milwaukee, since it's going to host the convention. That's going to be the first debate for the Republicans. I mean, it comes up in August.
The debate or the
first debate? Yeah. So we're about 4 months or less.
Yeah, that's going to go by fast. That's going to go by really fast.
It's campaign season, y'all.
So pretty soon, I think DeSantis is going to have to get off the fence. He's already pretty much alluded to the fact that he's running. So I'm pretty sure.
When did I say the Florida legislative session ends? That's going to be their last order of business.
Is it June?
No, it was in May.
Okay. So
I think it was early May.
Soon.
May 20th, Kayla telling me. Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Meanwhile, the FBI hatched a plan this year to cultivate sources inside Catholic churches to investigate religious extremism. Oh, I'm glad they're on that. How often have we said these Catholic extremists are a real threat to our republic? Man, over and over and over. Representative Jim Jordan, the House chairman The chairman of the House Select Subcommittee on Weaponization said in a letter yesterday that the FBI, using information from an undercover employee, sought to develop sources, including clergy members and church leaders inside Catholic churches in Virginia. According to Jordan, the FBI's plan called for the Bureau to engage in outreach to mainline Catholic parishes to make congregations aware of the warning signs of radicalization. Is there really a big problem with that? Maybe this is just something I'm not aware of. The radical Catholics that are stirring things up in this country.
No.
You know what it's about? Abortion. That's what it's about.
It's about a federal government that's out of control in a dying republic. That's what it's about.
But they're trying to enlist their assistants to serve as suspicious activity tripwires. The FBI also proposed that agents reach out to Catholic parishes to, quote, develop sources among the clergy and church leadership, unquote. It's unclear whether the FBI planned to surveil the churches through covert means or to make contact with parishes through official FBI channels. I'm sure it's the former. But Jordan said that the revelations warrant a subpoena for all information related to the matter. It is incredible how many stories we have about the FBI turning on us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're only just beginning today.
Jeez.
Yeah, we've also, I think, I don't know what, we've got the Biden administration. If there was any doubt whatsoever, it's official. They were involved with the Mar-a-Lago raid. They what is called a special access request or something, direct from the Biden White House to the FBI. So for them, and we knew that they were playing dumb, like, I didn't know. We just woke up and saw the TV news like you did. Shut up. And you know who found that was the same group, America Legal Foundation, something. They're the ones that were the forefront, if I remember correctly, of the Beverly Hills, the FBI
going and raiding the vault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good group.
Over $100 million stolen from companies and American citizens.
Still don't have it back. Because why would
Well, it's only been, 2.5 years? I'm sure they're getting around to it. You know, they're busy. They're busy.
I'm not a fan of the FBI.
Where did I put that $100 million I took on it? We were going to give that back, too.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. The intern bought pizza.
Oh, that's right.
For everybody. And so we don't know.
I didn't think that intern had enough to feed, every FBI agent in the country all at once. I didn't, Well, maybe that's how that happened.
The FBI beer fund was running low, so we had to go and raid some unsuspecting Americans of their life savings.
And we had to tip our Uber driver. So
you want to, you got to do that too.
You got to do that. If you want good service, you got to do that. And you get rated as an Uber client, right? As a passenger, I think they rate you.
Yeah.
So you got to give them a good tip, and the FBI did.
This is out of control, man.
It is.
I mean, there are so many
completely out of control
branches, so many parts of our federal government that need to be dismantled. But that's the top of the list for me.
And how about the federal government's media arm, NPR? Boy, they don't like being called that. They're taking some offense from the Twitter label, which called them state affiliated. Here's what they're going to do, and I'm quoting them.
Okay.
We stopped tweeting from the main NPR account after they attached that false label to it because each tweet we published would carry it. So it's the end of the NPR tweets? I don't know if I can handle that.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Because this just kind of came on me this morning. I didn't realize. Now what, America?
Yeah.
Now you've done it. Now you've forced NPR to stop tweeting.
And that hurts.
No, it does. It hurts badly.
Because we're big fans of NPR. That's where we do our prep. We go to their account and we're like, hey, what's NPR talking about?
All over NPR.
Oh, no, they haven't tweeted since April 4th. Oh, crap.
Oh, man.
Well, we got to have more up-to-date news than that.
That's a week. That's a week without NPR tweets. It's too much.
How will we survive?
I can't abide it. They're not the only woke company avoiding social media. Bud Light is as well. We'll get into that. Tell you about the Bud Light situation coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Point of personal privilege.
Yes.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
First of all, James Jackson, Sacramento, he, him.
Yeah, James, go ahead.
Just want to say, can we please keep the chatter to a minimum? I'm one of the people who's very, very prone to sensory overload. There's a lot of whispering and chatter going on. It's making it very difficult for me to focus.
Wow.
Please, can we just, I know we're all fresh and ready to go, but can we please just keep the chatter to a minimum?
Well, let's
it's affecting
hope so.
my ability to focus. Thank you.
Wow. How many times did that guy get his ass kicked when he was a kid in school?
Probably not enough.
Obviously.
Got some tweets here. Freedom Unicorn tweets. Sounds like we need blue flag laws, keeping guns out of the hands of those who identify as Democrats. Clearly, it's a mental illness. Pronouns shouldn't own guns.
Wait.
No. Are those? It's not maybe not investigate that any further. Tongue sucker or hair sniffer tweets. Notice that KJP is so dumb she has to read from her book to explain how the victims are hurting. Yeah. Holy smoke, 1776. If D's want gun manufacturers to be held accountable after a shooting, do they also want radical left prosecutors and judges to be held accountable with their soft on crime approach?
Thank you.
Do they not care about those people who are assaulted or killed by lifelong criminals?
No, they don't care.
From the pickled squirrel, back in my day, the dollar store had things that sold for, wait for it, $1.
Oh,
Wow,
that's where they got that.
Yeah, it's not right, is it? Is that really where the name came from?
I have to trust a tweet for the reference.
That's not possible. Yeah, we just had a story a couple of weeks ago that was, one of the dollar stores. I don't know. There's so many of them. They had to. I don't think they're going to change their name, but they had to get rid of a bunch of products because they're not $1 anymore or anywhere near $1. I think the average was it $1.25 or was it $1.50, something like that. I don't know, but they have to make changes because there's no more dollar items in the store where it's named the dollar store. So thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah, good.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's great. More fun from the federal government. Agents detained a Delta pilot in the Defense Department training mix-up. Department of Defense agents mistakenly detained a Delta pilot during a training exercise mishap at a hotel in Boston.
This is so bad.
The DOD agents were conducting a role-playing operation with the assistance of the FBI Boston Division.
Wait, the assistance of who?
The FBI.
Oh, the FBI. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's always that thread.
When they broke into the wrong room at the Revere Hotel on Stewart Street about 10 p.m., Boston police dispatcher made the call early last Wednesday. Sir, bear with me on this one. Can you swing by the Revere Hotel, 200 Stewart Street? Security called in 45 minutes ago. 2 Delta pilots had people claiming to be FBI agents barge into their room and handcuff them to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they've since left and want to file a report now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the FBI doing a training exercise can't even get the room right. Do you think the guy whose room that he was expecting them, like, he'd go, "Hey guys, what's going on? I've been waiting here. You're supposed to break in at 10.
Right.
What's the story here?" Handcuffed him, put him in the shower, and questioned him for, what was it? It said 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, our bad. I mean, what
your freedom.
Yeah, incompetent federal government.
Oh, well, mistakes happen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's similar to the news we got last week where you had the 13 Proud Boys prosecuted for their association with January 6th, and it turned out that 8 of the 13 were FBI informants. So really...
It's really starting to look
5.
Like government agents were among the main instigators of January 6th. What a shocking surprise. Who would have ever thought or suspected that? Gosh, nobody could have foreseen that, I don't think. You got to be, am I Kreskin or something?
Ray Epps keeps waking up in his bed. What's that all about?
Well, the FBI keeps going to the wrong place.
They're going to the Delta pilots in Boston instead of Ray Epps'
instead
house.
of Ray. Yeah, so that's why he hasn't been questioned by them yet.
I see.
Plus, they know him, and they know who he is.
Yeah, they
and
can
why
vouch
he was
for
there.
him. Look, we can vouch for Ray. I mean, he's one of us. He's a good guy.
He's either an informant or, maybe an FBI agent. Who knows who he is?
Well, what if he's not? As he claims he's not. Okay, well then what the hell were you whispering in those guys' ears? And why did you lie when you were questioned about your whereabouts?
Exactly. Yeah, we may never know. That's the beauty of
plus,
it.
never mind what he whispered or why he lied where he was. He's recorded the night before. We got to go into the Capitol, y'all. And everyone's like, whoa, no. They've got people locked away that were parading and milling, and this guy is actually instigating. I can't.
And not just a few people locked away, too, for parading and milling. I mean, close to 900 people initially, and then they wanted another 1,000. Another 1,000 people that they expect. And here's some of their heinous crimes right there
I can't believe
on the monitor.
We show that without like a disclaimer, or we don't blur this violence out.
I know. I throw up a little bit in my mouth every time. It's so disturbing. Wow. Look at two people bumped into each other.
Yeah,
there.
I saw that. That's awkward.
Man. So dangerous.
This is what earns Pat Gray Unleashed a TVMA. Raking.
Yeah. It's adult subject matter.
Now that guy pisses me off. Why
Extreme
do you have
violence.
Why do you have the light on your camera? Is it that dark in there? I don't know.
I don't know either. But
I don't think we
what an unruly crowd.
Have we ever let this run this long? This is fun.
Yeah, I don't think we have.
New stuff. I don't remember the light guy before.
So much more heinous violence being perpetrated there. Man. All right. And we have video of the new VP of marketing for Bud Light recently surfaced. So this is before all the controversy.
This is before the Dylan Mulvaney ads for Bud Light started circulating. She had a plan, this new VP for marketing.
And apparently she's pulled off that plan, but here's what she had to say.
I'm a businesswoman. I had a really clear job to do when I took over Bud Light. And it was, this brand is in decline. It's been in decline for a really long time. And if we do not attract young drinkers to come and drink this brand, there will be no future for Bud Light. So I had this super clear mandate. It's like we need to evolve and elevate this incredibly iconic brand. And what I brought to that was a belief in, okay, what does evolve and elevate mean? It means inclusivity. It means shifting the tone. It means having a campaign that's truly inclusive and feels lighter and brighter and different and appeals to women and to men. And representation is at sort of the heart of evolution. You've got to see people who reflect you in the work. And we had this hangover. I mean, Bud Light had been kind of a brand of fratty, kind of out of touch humor. And it was really important that we had another approach.
No, you talk about being in touch. Is there any better plan than to slap all of your core customers in the face?
That was incredible. just to see that, and then what resulted. She wanted someone that reflects them. Okay, well, good job. You got a dude in a bathing suit.
In a bathtub.
Splashing around in a bathtub with bubbles.
Who knows nothing about sports. Just like all the Bud Light drinkers. They have no clue as to what. And bragging about it.
Now,
so bizarre.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's anecdotal. I'd love to see actual hard numbers, but I'm seeing more and more people online who are distributors or bar owners or what have you talking about, we're done. We're not only not carrying Bud Light, we're not doing Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
And I don't know how quickly this turnaround, it seemed almost too quickly that they would have turned this around. But watching baseball last night, and an ad comes on, and this guy walks up to the bathtub and gets in and starts watching basketball. So he's watching the NCAA tournament, presumably, and he's drinking a Coors Light. Now, I don't know.
Little shot at Bud Light?
I mean, I guess, but
It's
it was
gotta be.
so quick that they got
gotta
that thing turned around.
Yeah, that's great.
But it was a dude.
That's interesting.
Enjoying dude things. It was
interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Huh. I guess Bud Light hasn't tweeted either on the socials, right?
Not since April 1st.
Wow.
I wonder if that lady had the login details for the Bud Light Twitter account and got the axe, and now they don't know how to get into it. Either that or they're hiding. Because, Kid Rock did a little thing online where he just shot up a bunch of Bud Light
cans.
Cases and stuff.
Yeah, saw that.
Apparently that's had an impact with the audience that they're trying to distance themselves from.
Yeah, and also things are, looking so bad for Anheuser-Busch right now that their stock went down from $66.34 a share on Monday. It opened at $64.99, so it went down $1.50 or so, fucking $1.35 per share. So that's a fairly significant slide in a day. They've also gone from the king of beers to the groomer of beers, which is maybe not.
I love it.
Maybe not how they want to be labeled. I don't know. Maybe they like it. Maybe the new marketing person loves that. That's going to sell to the young people, isn't it?
I bet you, and there's no way to prove this unless you have a source on the inside at Anheuser-Busch, but what if I bet that lady had them prepping aluminum cans with like the trans flag or something, for
that wouldn't
Pride
surprise
Month or
me at
something,
all.
getting them ready to roll out.
Trans flag, the rainbow flag,
and then,
something.
And they're just like, okay, wait, all right, let's just
maybe we'll hold off on that for a minute. Let me tell you about Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifiers. If you've got some issues in your house where it's not as fresh smelling as you'd like it to be, maybe pet odor or, the litter box, those kinds of things, Eden Pure Thunderstorm air purifiers. They use oxy technology, which sends out O3 molecules into the air, and that seeks out and destroys the odor and the pollutants. Bacteria, mold, mildew, viruses. Kills all those things. It's called the Thunderstorm because it purifies the air in your home and provides you with pure, fresh air, just like after a thunderstorm. Right now, you can save $200 on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack for whole home protection. It'll get you 3 units for under $200. All you need to do is enter the promo code PAT. Go to EdenPureDeals.com, discount code PAT, and you'll save $200. That's EdenPureDeals.com, discount code PAT. Shipping is free.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Meanwhile, apparently Cracker Barrel is racist again, or still, or I don't know. It's the comfort food style restaurant chain, Cracker Barrel, known for its overwhelming amount of ornamental knickknacks and vintage signs plastered on the walls, is in some social media trouble. Folks on the internet are claiming Cracker Barrel is racist. According to Southern Living, Cracker Barrel was coined in 1916 because of barrels containing soda crackers, a popular item for sale at country stores.
There's no word that's safe, man. No word.
Customers at said country stores would hang around the barrels as a kind of ritual, kind of like the trope of employees gossiping near the water cooler. The first Cracker Barrel location opened in 1969 in Lebanon, Tennessee, and it derived its name from the Cracker Barrel community experience back in the day. Well, according to dictionary.com,
oh, here we go.
Cracker Barrel means of or suggesting the simple, rustic informality and directness thought to be characteristic of life in and around the country store.
It's just a quaint, fun little place.
No.
With
some
the...
Twitter users, Keith, have also pointed out that the term cracker might have another, more racist connotation.
I see.
According to NPR, Certainly not state-run media.
They didn't tweet this, I guarantee you that.
The term cracker was used in the mid-18th century to refer to poor white people in states like Maryland, Virginia, and Georgia. And doesn't it continue to be a racial epithet today?
And here's the thing. We don't care.
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
Just whatever.
And that bothers people that we don't care.
I know.
It's suspected that it was shortened. It was a shortened version of whip cracker, since the manual labor they did involved driving livestock with a whip.
Okay.
But in the late 1800s, writers from the northern USA region referred to some Southerners as crackers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. They decided that they were called that because of the cracking of the whip when they drove slaves. Okay, so we are going a long way to the well.
Really trying. We're going to make this thing racist one way or another.
Man. Users on Twitter also claimed that a cracker barrel was a barrel used to hold whips, though there is currently no historical evidence to back up that claim.
They're just throwing it out there. Yeah, we're going to put that in the story just because.
Yeah, it just sounds really bad. So we're going to throw that in.
Golly.
Back in 2015, someone named Ryan Koch, who lived in Iowa, started a petition to change its name because he believed Cracker Barrel to be racist toward white folks.
So he played their game.
Per the change.org petition, Koch wrote, I say all European Americans start protesting, and then he wouldn't even spell out the word cracker barrel. It uses an offensive slur, and it is deeply offensive and mocks our long and proud heritage.
There it is. I like this.
He did clarify the post was satire. Okay,
yeah,
good.
but people glommed onto
They
it and
did.
said yes. In fact, does that story reference the logo? Can you put the logo back up? Look at that crazy. See how it goes off the K from cracker and it curves around? That's a whip. That's a whip, Pat. You see the K?
I do.
Oh, look at that crazy long whip.
Yep. Huh.
And something else about this photo really bothers me. If you're going to put a stock photo on your news service, can you at least wait until the sun doesn't cast shadows of the lights there? See that? That's bothering me. That really bothers me. They could have just come back a few hours later and gotten a clean shot there.
Maybe they were busy. And they didn't have time to go back later.
They were like, drive by the Cracker
shadow.
Barrel. We need a stock photo. Okay, but the shadows, just get it.
It does show you that we're in a position where we really have to work at it to try to make something that's offensive to us.
Yep.
I mean, you really have to go a long way to the well to make something out of Cracker Barrel. Stop it. Jeez.
Oh.
That's like the Chicago means you're racist. That's a code word. That's a dog whistle. Except only dogs would hear it, so I don't know what it would matter if it's a dog whistle, but that's what it is. A dog whistle.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Thanks for joining us. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. So Aaron Rodgers still hasn't finalized any deal with the New York Jets, right? Everybody expects him to.
Well,
he still hasn't.
The Jets and the Packers are still trying to figure out
negotiating, find out what they're going to get for him. Yeah.
One thing, the Jets sounds like I think they have the 13th overall pick. That's not happening because they want a longer commitment than just 1 year from Aaron Rodgers before they make this deal. But their GM for the Jets says he will be a Jet. So we'll see.
Man, if he stays for more than a year, what does that do to Zach Wilson? Who's
he's done there.
Still there.
Yeah, he's done.
He's still there. And they keep saying they're going to keep him.
Okay.
In year 3, if he sits the whole season, I mean, you might as well forget it.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is such a friendly guy.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he's what many would call
open
a teacher.
Yes.
He loves helping out.
He loves mentoring youthful quarterbacks.
That's his track record.
Man, it's interesting that he turned out to be as bad or worse than Brett Favre when he was in that situation. when Favre was supposed to be the mentor, and he was pissed off that Aaron Rodgers was there and wanted nothing to do with mentoring him.
Yeah.
And now he's doing the same thing to those behind him.
That was one of the things that Tony Romo alluded to, how Drew Bledsoe just gave him the cold shoulder, and he wasn't going to treat Dak Prescott that way.
And he sure didn't.
And he didn't. But this Aaron Rodgers thing, it's a mess for sure. And there's talk that you're not going to find out until the draft, which is April 27th, that how this thing is all going to end up playing out.
There's a whole bunch of, decent quarterbacks. They could maybe get one in the draft, but you're always rolling the dice there. Who knows?
Well, the 49ers, there's been rumors that the 49ers are going to swoop in and get Rodgers.
Yeah, I saw that. So there's two teams at least vying for his
But Aaron Rodgers,
abilities.
Again, speaking to his personality, he's the kind of guy who lets bygones be bygones. So I'm sure he would totally want to play with the hometown 49ers that he grew up loving and thought he was going to be the number 1 overall pick to.
Yeah,
or first round pick at least when they took Alex Smith.
He's still bitter about that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm sure
he's still bitter about that, and he'll talk about the fact that I didn't go till 23rd. Wait, okay, you're the 23rd pick in the draft, and that's terrible. I mean, I know he was counting on being
cost
number
him a lot
1,
of money,
but yeah, it did. But I think he made up for it. He's making $50 million a year now. He's doing okay. He doesn't wonder where his next meal is coming from. That's for sure. Dating Hollywood actresses, almost a surefire Hall of Fame pick.
Hanging out in dark rooms for 4 days in Oregon. I mean, that's living the life right there.
Hanging out for, I don't know that reference at all. What is
sensory deprivation, where he locked himself away for 4 days while he made his mind up.
That's bizarre. And really?
Then,
I didn't hear that part.
You got to go and see this McAfee interview he did. When he was discussing this and where he revealed that he's going to go to the Jets. But he talked about how he got out of that isolation chamber there, and then his phone just started lighting up with all these rumors about the Packers wanting to trade him. And so then that's when Mr. Bygones Be Bygones decided, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to come back and not play for you.
He's a strange dude. So we did a 4-day sensory deprivation?
You haven't heard? Okay.
I had not heard that
So that's where
all.
he literally is in a dark room for 4 days.
Weird.
And his only reference for time is when they open up the little thing to put food in for him.
Really?
Yeah, he did. That's where
And do you have to pay for that?
Oh, of course.
Probably
that
a
stuff
lot,
isn't free.
Right? Probably a ton.
Yeah, if you want to torture yourself, it costs
gosh.
money in 2023.
Do you get any light so that you can eat your food by it,
I
so
don't
you
think
know what
so.
you're eating?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's bizarre.
Yeah,
so you just sit there in the dark and think for 4 days?
That's what the man did. Yeah, and I guess the light in the bathroom is optional.
Okay. All right.
Fun times, right?
Wow.
4 days.
That makes me glad he's leaving the Packers.
Yeah, he said
that's just weird.
Yeah, you start hallucinating on day. I don't know if Jeffy were here; he'd have all the details from the Pat McAfee thing. I think it was day 2, maybe 3.
I'll bet you do. Yeah, that's creepy.
No, thank you.
I got some tweets here. Fury and Energy tweets: Anheuser-Busch doesn't care that they're losing money. This is a religious effort, not a marketing one.
That's true.
That is true. They're worshiping while we're politicking. We need to understand this.
That's a great point. Yep.
High Plains Stranger, Spuds McKenzie, and the Frogs were the best ads Anheuser-Busch ever did. And they stole the Frogs.
They did.
From Rainier.
Yeah.
Rainier beer. I don't know. Maybe Anheuser-Busch owned Rainier because it was blatantly ripped off from them. Anyway, continues. There's nothing more inclusive than just making people laugh. Pissing off half your audience was a bad idea? Maybe? Way to go, genius. Bob Loblaw tweets, the Bud Light debacle may be the worst advertising blunder since Coca-Cola considered changing its name to New Coke. And its formula. Don't forget.
Yeah, and Nike is going through the same thing right now after mocking women.
Nike really doesn't care, though. You think Bud Light doesn't care?
Yeah.
Nike really doesn't care.
This clown show, Dylan Mulvaney, who is literally, it's a mockery of women.
It is.
And I can see why women would be pissed. And it seems like there might be some backlash on them coming as well. So we'll see. But, I mean, it's just like... You always hear the left scream about the patriarchy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the patriarchy is taking over. They're moving in on women's territory. I mean, this is absolutely that. Whether it's women's clothing or women's sports with trans athletes, and we're going to talk about this more with Hilary Kennedy coming up here in about a half an hour. But it's like, if the right were behind this movement, if this kind of stuff was getting a nod from Donald Trump instead of Joe Biden...
It'd be misogynist.
Yes.
It would be a despicable, bigoted, misogynist thing to do.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
It's just madness.
In fact, there's another story today about biological men who are increasingly taking over women's cycling now, too. Women have lost out to male competitors in swimming, indoor track, weightlifting, other sports, and now it's happening in cycling as well. Jillian Bearden, who was born Jonathan Bearden. How dare you dead name her. The co-founder of U.S. Transnational Women's Cycling Team explicitly admitted to holding a competitive advantage over female athletes. Wait, what? One of them's at least honest about it. Bearden took first place in the women's division of the U.S. Peloton at El Tour de Tucson in 2016. I went from 16 minutes to 26, 27, 28 minutes, Bearden said. I was like, holy cow, testosterone gives you this drive, this oomph. And I didn't have that. I didn't have that push. The cycling governing body, Union Cyclist International, lowered the permitted levels of testosterone. A woman's average strength, stamina, and physique are all much lower than a biological male's, even after the latter undergoes testosterone suppression. The difference has been shown on the track. A transgender mountain biker in New Zealand began competing as a woman a matter of weeks after competing on the men's team, snagging the National Mountain Biking Championship in New Zealand. If everyone's not happy, then maybe everyone's not doing their best racing, the biker said. Yep, okay. All right. Interesting.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Right.
It is ma'am.
Thank you. So you have Austin Killips, never raced at the elite level until joining the women's team. Quickly racked up the trophies. Placed third at the women's pro race at the second day of the Really Rad Festival, and took first place in the female elite division at the Verge Northampton International Cyclocross in Massachusetts. Tiffany Thomas dominated a New York City cycling race after taking up cycling in his 40s. Thomas won the top place in the cycling team LA Sweat against his teammates who were all 32 and under. Because, he's biological male. Sure. Some sports organizations and governing bodies, of course, have taken some steps to protect women, and they get hammered for it. But the World Athletics Association voted in March to ban biological males competing against women, and they created a new category for trans people and said, okay, you want to compete against each other.
Yeah.
How about that?
Good.
Man.
And woman.
Mankind or woman, people kind. I guess you can't call it mankind anymore.
I don't know, man. I give up.
This is kind of interesting. A little economic study done on what $100,000 in income is worth after taxes and cost of living adjustments in the top 10 cities in America.
Okay.
In New York City, if you make $100,000. Your take-home pay is actually $35,791. Jeez.
Wow, that is...
Wow. Okay, so a six-figure salary is worth about $35,000 in New York City.
Oh, my...
Because it's so expensive to live there.
Yeah, so this is after they take out your federal, your state, and your local taxes.
Yeah, which your state taxes, I mean, it hurts. If you're in the $100,000 income, I don't know what the percentage is, but it goes up by 12% or so because of New York's tax system. Then at number 2 is Honolulu, where if you make $100,000, it's like making $36,026. San Francisco is third at 36,445.
Oh, it's totally worth it. The quality of life in San Francisco, oh my gosh. I mean, it's totally, you can absorb that.
Oh, yeah.
For the trade-offs you get. I mean, where else are you going to get to do the slalom around piles of human feces in the street?
Right. Right.
You can't,
and you don't have to pay extra for that.
You can't get that at most places.
Washington, D.C., 44,000. So 100,000 is like 44,000.
That's the thing.
$307.
You know, you look at there, New York, San Francisco, D.C. I mean, these aren't nice places anymore.
No, they're not.
You know, so what are you getting for that?
Then Long Beach, California, 44,623. Los Angeles, 44,000. I'm surprised Los Angeles is only fifth. I would have thought that they were right behind New York. San Diego, California, of course. A lot of California cities on this list. 46,167. Oakland, 46,000 something. Boston, 46. And Seattle, Washington, which has gotten so expensive and so progressive. $100,000 is worth about $48,959.
Yeah, it'd be one thing if these were neat places to live anymore.
Still really beautiful cities with it. And maybe San Diego still is. But the rest of those, I think, have gone downhill quickly. Not sure where this is, but the lawlessness of cities has officially extended to the youth. They know there's no consequences anymore for breaking the law, which is what's making some of these cities like San Francisco, like New York and Los Angeles, it's making them such crappy places to live. Take a look at this. The lawlessness of these
kids.
He done locked the kids in the stove.
These kids have learned from adults that you can get away with this stuff.
Look at them. Oh my God. Oh my God.
They're just stealing stuff.
Ooh, they badass kids.
There you go. They're just.
I mean, those are little kids too. Wow.
Look at that, man.
But, you know, they have access to the internet and they've seen what happens.
I love the bag hanging from the
We
tree.
gotta do better, people.
Yeah, we got to do better. So, I mean, there you go.
We have to do better.
And I'm
got to
sure,
do better.
I'm sure that that's an isolated incident. Those kids will never commit an act of crime ever again.
Badass kids.
Oh, it's incredible.
Oh, boy.
We're watching the disintegration of civilization right before our eyes.
We are. In this next video, Pat, you're going to love this video.
Yeah.
You want to talk about an entitled generation.
So I do want to talk about an entitled generation.
This girl sitting at a table, she's doing this for her social media, and she's going to talk about the food that she's about to consume.
Okay.
But there's a problem with the food.
Oh, no.
And the fact that
Hate to see
she
that happen.
actually recorded this interaction and then went ahead and uploaded it to social media.
Pretty amazing.
Tells you where we are
with
our self-awareness in this culture.
The egg was not on the salmon.
So can I please get a new one? I don't want to eat this.
She needs a new one.
Leave already. Why are you even here?
Why are you even here?
I can't make this up. Why is the egg not on the salmon? You guys can see clearly that
The egg's not
I'm
on the
making
salmon.
this up. Like I can't make this up.
I can't make this up. She can't believe that the egg's not on the salmon and they won't do anything about it.
Did she want a whole new...
Yeah.
Okay, so I ordered a salmon benedict, which the egg clearly is supposed to be on, and then why is the sauce even on the side? Like it's supposed to be on top. Can I just speak to the manager? Like I'm so.
I can't believe.
I really don't know who hired you to be a manager, but I can clearly see that you are not, the right person for this job.
Oh wow. Wow.
I'm gonna try to put this on. If it opens,
if it opens,
I'm literally gonna have to ask you to bring me in.
She's literally gonna have to ask her to bring another one. Literally.
Okay, it's breaking.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
It's breaking.
Can I get a new one?
Sorry.
Sorry. Can I please get a new one with like a new plate? It's to be aesthetic for my story. Because I'm honestly not eating this until you bring me a new one. Sorry.
Then the real manager comes over.
I'm actually leaving.
Oh, she's leaving. She's leaving.
I'm so sorry. Like, I'll just leave. You can just serve this to the next person because I didn't eat it yet. Sure. But I really appreciate it.
Look at.
So
Is she
let's
crying?
use brain cells before we post things on the internet. Thanks.
Oh, what? And I can't live in this world, man.
What if you were to just scoop it up immediately and place it? I mean, you go underneath the egg.
I
so
shouldn't
it
have
doesn't
to do
break,
that, Pat.
and then put it on the salmon.
Look at me.
What if you did that?
I shouldn't have to do that. Like, I'm telling your manager, this is like ridiculous. It's so not visually pleasing. This, I mean, that's the generation that we are gifting our society to.
Yeah, and we bent over backwards. Again, we used to talk about this all the time. Wait till they get to the workplace. Wait till they graduate from high school or college or whatever, and then get into the real world. Then they're going to be slapped in the face with reality. Nope. They slapped reality in the face and knocked it for a loop, and we changed everything to fit their attitude and their little desires.
This is the participation trophy.
Yep.
Growing up, coming of age, and they're the generation that's never been told no.
And they're still not being told no.
They're the ones that everything's acceptable. Oh, look, your Common Core math answer, whatever. Yep. Yeah, everything.
There's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer, Pat. And when they are met with the egg isn't on top of the salmon,
then that's almost too much for them to bear.
It's bad enough that she reacted that way, then posted it for the world to see.
Yeah, because she was so indignant, she wanted others to join her.
Get a life.
I'm sure they did, too. I'm sure people joined her and told her how wronged she was at that restaurant. You know, there's a new movie coming out that I really think you're going to want to see. Keith saw this last week at the big premiere here.
I'm so excited that the audience gets to enjoy this in just a few days as well.
It's made by the same people who did God's Not Dead and Unplanned. It's called Nefarious. It's based on the Blaze's own Steve Deace's book that he wrote, which is a book, you know, kind of like C.S. Lewis's The Screwtape Letters, which is a brilliant, phenomenal book. It's about a psychiatrist who is called to a prison to meet with a convicted killer who is about to be executed. The killer says he's a demon named Nefarious, and so then the psychiatrist has to figure out, well, is this guy insane? Is he just pretending to be insane? What's going on here? So you'll find out this Friday what exactly is going on. Nefarious opens Friday. Mark it. Don't forget it. In fact, go get your tickets now at whoisnefarious.com.
And if your favorite theater isn't planning to show it, call them. Tell them, what is your problem? Get this awesome movie in there.
That's whoisnefarious.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome. Got a couple of tweets here. James R. Miller tweets, I say we go all the way and get Cracker Barrel to change the name to Hunky Barrel.
Yes.
That should please the woke overlords.
Oh, I'd buy a Hunky Barrel shirt. Wear it proudly.
In a minute. Codified Likeness Utility tweets, didn't Larry Schweikert say in A Patriot's History of the United States that cracker came from the hard biscuits the Irish carried for food when building the railroads? They cracked when they broke them.
Oh, I need to go and check that. That is a great book, by the way. Make your kids read that. A Patriot's History of the United States, Larry Schweikert.
You can't.
Of course, I can't remember.
Make your kids do something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe I just heard that.
Of course, I don't remember that story, so it shows that it really takes when you read it.
Stitch Jones 2.0. You can't use people kind because it's not inclusive to furries. Now you laugh, but you know, probably about the same population percentage as trans, which has exploded and taken over the country. So why not furries too? Carol Remarks tweets, is the egg going to stay on top of the salmon when it gets in her stomach?
Oh.
She just wanted it back on top so she could take a darn photo for her social.
What a sad existence.
Yeah, that's probably true. Curb My Enthusiasm. Can you please do your Lambeau Field monologue? Please, please, please. My Lambeau Field monologue. Oh, is that the Frozen? No, I can't because I'm not your trained monkey. However, if that's what you were trying to get me to say, that doesn't work during the tweets.
Is that wait, hold on. So oh, that's a center square. I'm not your trained monkey, but it doesn't count because you just did it.
Right. For that very reason.
So now that tweets are officially over, right?
Yes.
That segment's moved on.
Yes. Now
can I get you to say I'm your trained monkey?
Probably not. No, because I'm not your trained monkey.
Oh.
So you can't.
Very good.
Texas is getting on the school choice bandwagon, sort of. The bill passed in the Senate that makes it easier for parents to move their kids into different schools in another school district and into private schools. Currently, school districts can deny parents transfer requests for a range of reasons. The bill changes that to allow denials only based on a school's capacity or if the applicant is currently suspended or expelled. The bill creates an education savings account, okay?
No, don't get too excited.
Oh. For 62,500 pre-K through 12th grade students who attend the poorest performing schools in the state.
So you have to be...
in one of the poorest performing schools.
You suck.
What are you doing?
What a stupid bill. It may not even pass. I mean, it shouldn't because it sucks. It's not even lukewarm. They're saying that, how many kids did we see the stat are enrolled in Texas schools? 5 million?
Yes.
And this will affect how many?
62,500.
That are in failing school districts.
Wow.
No, every school district is a failure because they're all indoctrinating kids into some woke bullcrap. This is such garbage, this Texas bill.
And we can do better in Texas. Come on.
Beginning to wonder.
You're better than this.
Beginning to wonder.
It allows parents to apply to receive up to $8,000 in state funds to put into an ESA to pay for a range of educational-related expenses. It also includes a subsidy for smaller school districts with less than 20,000 students to offset any losses they may face.
Oh, jeez.
And still no accommodation for homeschool parents who pay the full rate and get none of the benefits.
And it's worse than that. This money is going to come from Texas's general fund that we keep saving up for.
Jeez.
Because we've been wise with how we spend money. It's not going from property taxes. They're not. The schools are still going to get theirs.
Nuts. That's
nuts. Not good.
Yeah. All right, we've got Hilary Kennedy coming up in just a minute.
No. This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
We are joined now by Hilary Kennedy from HilaryKennedy.com. And, of course, the 4-Minute Buzz here on The Blaze. Welcome.
Thank you for having me in.
Some things going on in UFC. You're a big UFC fan, and there's merger talk. There's Fallon Fox talk, who is now retired, but she was a he who then beat up on women for a while. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is back in the news, too. This is why I love coming on your show, Pat. Many reasons I love your show, but the fact that you let us talk about UFC.
I love UFC.
Makes me so happy. The big news, this came out last week, that the WWE and the UFC merged together, which I think is actually a really smart idea. I think it's two totally different fan bases, but they generally love a lot of the same things. And so I think there's potential for a lot of great crossover, but it's also like a huge monetary decision because now it's going to create a $21.4 billion company.
Wow.
And Dana White says everything's going to be business as usual at UFC, WWE, kind of the same thing. Nobody's going anywhere from what they're telling us. They're all going to keep doing the same jobs. But now there's all this great potential for people like Logan Paul, who have been kind of sparring with Dana White, saying, like, let me fight. And then Conor McGregor, back in 2016, he sent out a tweet kind of mocking the WWE.
Oh, of course they found it. Oh, no.
Yeah, he said, I don't mean no disrespect to the WWE fans. What I meant to say was that I'd slap the head off your entire roster and twice on Sundays. So this was back in 2016, but now people are saying he's going to join the WWE at some point because he's already got the personality for it.
Yeah.
But he took to social media right after it was actually before they even publicly announced the merger.
Oh, no.
Sharing a picture of himself holding the WWE title belt. So fun. I think he's really gonna, and they say he's going to be making some sort of appearance at WrestleMania. So, and a lot of people have. Floyd Mayweather's done that. Mike Tyson's done that.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be kind of exciting.
And how old is Conor McGregor now? Do you know?
30, 34, I think.
Yeah, I thought probably
So,
mid-30s.
Yeah, so he's still got some time to build a WWE persona and kind of get in the game there. But Ronda Rousey, she was, formerly UFC, now with WWE. Brock Lesnar was WWE and then came over to UFC. So there has been some crossover.
Right.
So I think this is a really great financial move, if nothing else. But I
Was it
think
the
it's gonna be fun.
UFC that gobbled up the WWE or vice versa? Who?
Well, the UFC is valued at $12.1 billion, WWE at $9.3 billion. So UFC is kind of the bigger deal. But I think they have a lot to offer. And Dana White was asked about it, and he said, sometimes the fights take place at the same time on the same nights. So that's going to be a little tricky. But he was like, if it keeps more people at home paying for pay-per-views and watching their sponsors, he's like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So they seem excited about it. Okay, and then you brought up Fallon Fox. So
yes,
Fallon Fox is the first openly transgender MMA fighter. And he was once married, had a child, then had gender reassignment surgery and pursued a career as an MMA fighter. The big controversy with Fallon Fox was that he fought women twice before actually coming out and admitting that he's
he used to be a man.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Jeez.
So then there was a tweet recently by a doctor, because we've been having this big discussion about should transgender women be able to participate in, especially in contact sports with other women, but just sports in general.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
It is. And that's what this doctor pointed out, was Fallon Fox had fractured or cracked the skulls of 2 other women in fights. Well, that wasn't entirely true. But this tweet got a lot of attention. Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, people responded to it. And it mainly because Fox tweeted in response, for the record, I knocked 2 out. 1 woman's skull was fractured, the other not. And just so you know, I enjoyed it.
Ugh.
Yikes. Wow.
It's bliss.
Wow.
But
don't be mad.
The tweet that was going around showed
some bloodied face, right?
Right.
And it was, not that one.
It wasn't a woman that Fallon Fox actually fought. So that that wasn't
We don't need
real.
to be doing that.
No.
Then there was a post-fight interview with Fallon Fox, and someone had altered.
Yeah, watch this. Watch this. This has been going around big time over the weekend.
Fox delivering the knees, and that's it.
Now, she fractured her skull, correct?
Yes, she did.
Game over.
God.
This was Tamika Brents, and she did fracture her
to our first women's $20,000 championship tournament fight.
So this is the post game.
One knockout, Fallon, Queen of Swords.
How you feeling right now? I'm feeling excellent. That was sweet, huh? Did you like that? Yeah. And I want to tell everyone else, I'm coming in this tournament. Every woman in this tournament better look out. I'm freaking coming.
Okay.
So
what's the story on that video?
The story there is that is not actually what Fallon Fox's voice sounds like. They've altered it to make it sound more masculine. And
Stop doing that.
Fallon Fox actually does have a much higher register because Fallon's been taking the hormone replacement and the things for a long time, so the voice is much higher than what's portrayed in that video. So
that's not helpful when people do this.
Yes,
and deceive everybody. It discredits everybody who says, "Look, this is dangerous. She shouldn't be doing this." There's plenty of real information without doing that kind of stuff.
Right. And let's just say you're sitting around and having a conversation about trans women in sports, and there's some people on the fence, and you're on the side of stay out, and you're talking to somebody who's on the side of let them in, and they make reference to one thing. They need to be able to reference one thing to shoot you down in front of everybody else and go,
And
oh, yeah,
there it
is that the one where they changed her voice to make her look like a man? Is that the one where they put a bloodied image of a woman to make it look like she'd done that?
Yeah.
Don't be doing that, man.
No.
Right, not helpful. So, yeah, don't believe everything you see here. Before you retweet it, repost it, maybe do a little bit of digging. But one thing that I love about the UFC is a lot of conservatives love the UFC because these fighters are not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. They have a love of country. And there's been a lot of Trump supporting or DeSantis supporting fighters, which people think is really cool. I know I do. So this past weekend at UFC 287, Gilbert Burns fought Jorge Masvidal. It was a big deal, but they had a very special guest in attendance. I think. Do we have a picture of that?
Yeah, so let's see the picture of the ringside. This is so cool. This is such a great gathering. Who we got there? Reel them off for us there, Hilary.
Dana White. Donald Trump. Kid Rock, Mike Tyson.
Wow.
It's all four of them just sitting ringside. It's the funniest
That is so
photo.
cool. Now, what you were talking about, though, is who was the guy who had the rant at the end of the
So Jorge
fight?
Masvidal, he's a great fighter. He fought Gilbert Burns, but he was back in his home state of Florida, in his home city of Miami, and he's needed to retire, I think, for a while. He's lost 3 in a row, and he's kind of ready to move on. So he took his gloves off at the end, and in his post-fight interview with Joe Rogan, he gave a lovely speech. I think we have a clip of
watch
this.
this.
Okay.
This is good stuff.
Well, I love you too, man. You had a fantastic career, and it's been an honor to call your fights. I'm a huge fan, and I've appreciated everything you've done.
Also, I want to say, greatest president in the history of the world, sitting right there. I love that guy. We also got the greatest governor of all time here in Florida. Let's keep Florida free, a red state, and let's take that. You know who?
That's great.
Let's go Brandon out of power and replace him. If I could get it just one time. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. I'm out, y'all. 305 for life. Miami.
Oh, wow.
Good stuff. That's good stuff.
And the crowd was eating it up. They loved it.
Oh, yeah.
They loved it.
Yeah. One thing here that I was hoping we could play here when we're talking about the trans women in sports thing. So apparently over at South Park, they've been pointing out the issue with trans people since 2005. You know, back when you could, laugh at that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this clip from 2019 is exactly, sadly, where we are today. You can check this out.
Competition, strong woman. Miss Women, do you feel ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready, David. There are just so many amazing women athletes out here today. It makes me so proud.
Now, this is the first year that a trans woman is in the competition. How do you feel about that?
Amazing. I feel honored to be a part of history. I have a lot of incredible trans friends who are athletes, and so we're all inspired this woman's competing.
Uh-huh. And have you actually ever met Heather Swanson?
No, I've never competed against her before, no.
She's not exactly your average trans athlete.
Well, what is an average trans athlete? Honestly, I find that kind of bigoted, David.
Okay. Heather Swanson is actually joining us now. Miss Swanson, how does it feel to be competing today?
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. Now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
And is it correct you just started identifying as female 2 weeks ago?
I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some f***ing ass. Let me tell you something, Dingleberry.
David Perry.
I'm gonna roll up the other women here, and I'm gonna smoke them. I am the strongest woman this state has ever seen.
Any words for the challenger, Miss Woman?
She's not into it at that point. But there you go.
Man.
That's good stuff right there, huh?
They've predicted a lot of things, haven't they? I mean, just kind of like The Simpsons, too, where you go back and at the time it was total satire, but now it's our reality.
And I'm pretty sure, help me out, those of you who know your professional wrestlers, wasn't that Randy Macho Man Savage? Wasn't he? Yeah, I mean, he was doing the voice, too.
Yeah.
So that was all. I thought that sounded familiar. I know it looked
clear back in 2005.
No, that's 2019.
Oh, that was.
that
I
was
thought that was 2005 too. Okay,
yeah,
okay. It's 2019.
I was gonna say in 2005. I don't remember anybody saying identify
no.
as a female.
No, so I just wonder. I don't watch South Park. I just wonder if they're still making fun of the trans women movement over there.
Probably not.
Comedy Central.
Yeah, probably not. All right. Well, thank you, Hilary. We'll be watching for you on the 4-Minute Buzz coming up in just
you so much.
A few minutes. Let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. Trying to sell your home is a big challenge, and you need a realtor who can get you through that process, who can let you know whether or not you should, make a bunch of repairs, or should you repaint your house, or should you do expensive things? Are you going to get the money back out of it on the other side? That's the big question, and that's where you need a really good realtor who can give you that great advice. And that's the agents you're going to find at Real Estate Agents I Trust. This is Glenn's company, and so they vetted these agents really carefully. And they want to help you through that entire process. RealestateAgentsITrust.com. That's RealestateAgentsITrust.com.
Beware. Pat Gray is unleashed.
That looks like the whole woke movement is sweeping through country music now, too.
No.
Yeah. Yes. During the 2023 Country Music, is it the Country Music Television Awards? Anyway, the CMT Music Awards that were held in Austin, country music star Kelsey Ballerini performed her song, If You Go Down, I'm Going Down Too, with drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race surrounding her. Isn't that perfect? She appeared to be taking a shot at the customary home of the awards show, Tennessee, which recently passed a bill to limit sexualized entertainment visible to minors. Again, try to protect children, and of course, they don't like that. It creates a Class A misdemeanor offense for a person to engage in an adult cabaret performance on public property or in a location where the adult cabaret performance could be viewed by a person who's not an adult.
I mean, seriously, is that where we're at?
It is.
If your instinct is to protect those who want to be sexual in front of children and not to support those who are trying to defend children and keep them from this stuff,
it's unreal.
It's a world turned upside down, man.
Country music star Reba McEntire said she was disappointed with the bill. Wow. That surprises me. I wish they'd spend that much time and energy and money on feeding the homeless children, McEntire said. We've got a real problem in this country, she said. And to be worrying about men wanting to dress up as women, no, that's not the problem. Again, for the 1 millionth time, nobody had a problem with that before they started including children in this effort. God bless them to wear those high heels, she said. I feel for them. But let's center our attention on something that really needs attention. Yeah, because our children being protected. It's not worth our time, I guess. Right, Reba? Country music singer John Rich, thank heaven for John Rich, and Travis Tritt.
Too,
and a few others like this. But our friend John Rich took a swipe at the state of the CMT Awards on his social media account. No need to comment on the country music industry at this point. I'm just glad they're finally showing all you fans what they are really all about. That's interesting. I didn't realize this was happening. I mean, you knew that Tim McGraw and Faith Hill have been sounding off for years. You knew they were progressive, liberal, woke, but I didn't realize that it had infiltrated the entire industry to this extent. He said, I don't have the backing of the country music industry really much anymore. And that's okay. I'd rather have my freedom of speech than their approval any day of the week. Another country star who spoke out against woke culture was Travis Tritt, who announced he'd no longer work with Anheuser-Busch, the company, of course, that brews Budweiser and Bud Light, after, the whole transgender activist Dylan Mulvaney ad. I will be deleting all Anheuser-Busch products for my tour hospitality writer. I know many other artists who are doing the same, he said. Wow. Interesting. Because Maren Morris, you familiar with her?
No.
I'm not familiar with.
Is that country music?
Yes.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Sucks when Karens try to hide their homophobia / transphobia behind their protectiveness of the children.
Okay, you got me.
Are you kidding me? Why? How? It's really incredible. I mean, this was the last vestige of an industry of entertainment where you could pretty well count on them being fairly conservative.
There's no stone that's been left unturned by the left.
There
is no sacred ground. They've come for all of them.
successfully. They've successfully come for them all. Wow, that's really disappointing to see. Also, last year, a White House staffer dressed as an Easter bunny prevented Joe Biden from answering questions. Remember that about his botched Afghanistan withdrawal?
Yep.
This Easter, the administration released a useless official assessment to do pretty much the same thing.
Yes.
And you won't be shocked to discover that the administration places most of the blame for the deadly debacle on Donald Trump.
That's what we said yesterday, That's where they decided they would lay the blame. It's not shocking at all that they... What is it that Kirby said about the report?
It's not about accountability.
It's not about accountability.
It's not about that. Why would you even bring up accountability? Nobody here is accountable for anything. Which David Harsani, who used to work here at the Blaze, also noticed and mentioned that this administration accepts no responsibility for anything. Thank you for noticing that, David, because it's an amazing phenomenon from the guy who said the buck stops with me, and it never has.
Never
once has the buck stopped with Joe Biden or anybody in his administration.
Yeah, but yesterday was a big day and a big victory for Joe Biden, who has single-handedly stopped the COVID epidemic in this country. He decided.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. They went ahead and ended the national emergency, the COVID emergency, yesterday instead of waiting until mid-May like it was originally.
Okay.
So
since nobody's gotten COVID in the last, year, or very few anyway,
I don't know.
I never hear about it anymore.
Yeah.
At least in my circle.
Let me tell you when you're going to hear about it.
When are we going to hear about it?
Okay, so you're going to hear about it just like I predicted for summer of 2022 to justify mail-in ballots right? And
so next year,
drop boxes. So give it till next summer, and then you're going to hear if it's not COVID-19, it will be some excuse so that they will have more access to ballots.
COVID-19, monkeypox, whatever.
That's what they hung their hope on. Now there's well, there's a couple of things that they're trying to figure out if they're going to let the Ebola thing brew into something. And there's also this like fungus related to bats, but they've got time. They've got a year to get this figured out and what they're going to scare voters with to keep them at home.
They're probably plotting it right now. These secret meetings that they have all the time.
They've been plotting.
And every once in a while we get a glimpse into those meetings and find out that, like we had that audio from, was it 2017 or 18, where they were talking about almost the exact virus that then hit us the next year.
Oh, well, they were talking about that was what was that called? That thing. Anyway,
yeah,
2019,
some kind of summit,
and it was just October,
right before it. So, yeah,
good times.
They're doing that again, I'm sure.
Event 201, is that what it was?
That might be it.
I think so. Yeah,
that might be it.
By the way, it's National Pet Day, so don't forget to feed your pets today. It's their day.
Do people normally forget to feed their pets?
You forget to feed your pets.
I hate when that happens.
I mean, that may have been a more calculated message to my children.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, all right. So do they once in a while forget to feed your pets?
Pet Day. Yeah.
Because don't you have multiple pets?
2 dogs and a rabbit.
Yeah. Okay. And it used to be cats. Like, I mean, you were freaky cat people.
Look,
right?
circumstances
2 or 3, 4.
beyond my control ended up landing 4 cats with me.
4 cats. See, that's a problem. That's an issue.
It was, Pat.
Yeah. Also, I love this story. New York City continues to whine about their illegal alien problem. And so they're going to the federal government and begging them for $650 million to help them deal with the problem. They've taken in, get this, an average of 90 per day since July of last year.
That's like 30 seconds in Texas.
That's 32,000 migrants who are now living in city taxpayer-funded housing. Unlike Texas, where we've got, 7 million probably? Oh. And we have hundreds of thousands flooding across the border every single month. Last year it was, I think, 2.3 million that came across the border. Many of those in Texas. Probably most of those in Texas.
I'm your nightmare.
Yeah. Thank you for that. So yeah, they're freaked out in New York City about the fact that now they're having to deal with the problem because, again, the genius of the move by Greg Abbott, our Texas governor, who decided, you know what? I'm going to start putting illegal immigrants on buses, and I'm going to send them up to New York City so they can deal with this problem too. New York City, Martha's Vineyard, we're gonna give them a taste.
The right never comes up with something like this that is so successful.
No, and that's why it's so impressive that he did this. I mean, name another policy that has so quickly highlighted the crisis at the border. There's nothing. And also exposed the hypocrisy of the left. And in some cases has even brought attitude adjustment on the part of people on the left. Like, the mayor of New York, who realizes it's a crisis now.
Yeah. Whoever in the Greg Abbott governor's office came up with this deserves a pay raise.
Yes, absolutely.
Tenfold.
Fantastic. It has worked better than I think any of us ever dreamed it could. All right, we're going to see you again on Overtime, which will be posted at 11 Central, and then back here tomorrow with Jeffy. Jeffy will be chewing the fat with us on Pat Gray Unleashed.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.